One Piece chapter 1002 is out officially, and of course, per usual, it is time to talk about it. And again, it was an excellent chapter. So we'll start with the cover page. Very tranquil and calming, but Rob Lucci, he's quite the opposite. What I really liked is Hattori looking a bit jealous because Rob Lucci's feeding the other pigeons, but Rob Lucci's face is looking to say, relax, Hattori, like, you know I don't love him like I love you, right? So pretty cool cover art request. Per usual though, less panels due to the volatility of YouTube and Shueisha. If you are here for the first time though, please take the time out to subscribe. You may have been consuming content on this channel and might not have realized you are not subscribed. Please do not leave me feeling like Hattori in the cover page. But yeah, now to the chapter. Demolition Gust. I think in this chapter what they did was a lot more impressive than people gave them credit for, because in chapter 993, Kyoshiro classified these gusts as invisible. So 100% what they were doing in this chapter, they were avoiding and swatting away invisible slashes. And we saw what it did to Kiku. It took her arm off and her sword. So when you look at it back then when Zoro's talking to Kiku, the difference between them is so staunch because Zoro again batted it away just casually when Kiku, she lost her arm. So the observation hockey from the Supernova in this chapter, man, that's been on point. The way each Supernova handled this attack, I believe, speaks a bit to their personality. Law, as we know, completely avoids it. Using his Opi no Mi, he teleports a lot. Zoro just swats it away with his blade. It's fitting that he's using his blade to do that. Kid just straight up takes it, and that's due to the metal arm, but Kid is known to be very reckless, so this makes sense. Killer dodges it, right? But he's cautious and worried about Kid, as he usually is. Luffy seemed to speed around it, and this could go back to Future Sight and Luffy seeing it coming. But when I think of Luffy's personality, I think of straight up guts. And that was weird because I think that's what Oda was trying to portray, like how their personalities are, how they would deal with it. But I think I got my answer at the end of the chapter. Using the same thing twice would be a bit redundant, so I get it. Rio. That has been and will continue to be an ongoing topic in discussion. It's really difficult to discern when Luffy is using it, but I will say this. If Kaido is being hurt, more than likely Rio is being used. Kong Rifle, from what we know, is a very new attack. So just like Red Rock, it wasn't as apparent, but I'm going to assume that Rio is being used here because Luffy at this point, why would you not be using Rio? However, let's move on to Law and Kid and Kaido in regards to damaging him. So a very popular topic, or something that was low-key trending on Twitter, was Kid. And not because of Kid's amazing body slam, which when you look at the panel, Kid basically uses metal arms to grab Kaido and just basically suplex him. People are saying at this point, Kid should sign up for the WWE because he's just not cutting it on the rooftop. They're saying he'd be more effective there. However, I think that's a bit unfair because of what Kid was able to accomplish this chapter. Yes, not Kid by himself, but the trio, Kaido confirmed that they were able to hurt him and bypass the durability. Now, for Law, it makes sense. Gamma Knife, it goes past your defense. Luffy's using Rio. Even Killer using Sonic Scythe, which is a sound-based attack. To me, one of the most beautiful attacks I've seen in the story so far. But when we get to Kid, it's a straight-up slam. A lot of people compared it to Kaido falling from Sky Island and were wondering, like, why is this affecting Kaido when it's just a regular slam? Now, in a vacuum, what Kid did was impressive, but because of what we know in regards to Kaido falling from Sky Island and just how durable he is to especially physical attacks, why was this able to hurt him? Well, there are a bunch of different reasonings in regards to why this is the case. One is the fact that Law and Luffy has attacked him as well, so he's basically congratulating them or giving them props, and he didn't take the time out to single out Kid, but the damage is mostly due to them. I think I'm still in wait and see mode. I mentioned in my discussion about the chapter that Kid was the least impressive, at least in this chapter, but there's still a lot of fight left, so I'm not going to completely disown him, right? However, I will say Kid needs to step it up. I would like to see a bit more creativity from him as a fighter, but we're not sure what's going on here, right? We're not sure if Kid is doing something else in regards to being able to hurt Kaido. From what we can tell, it's just a straight up physical slam, but it would be cool if Kid was using another ability and then Oda explains it at the end as to why it's hurting Kaido, because right now it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, I'm still in wait and see mode. Let's not kill Kid just yet. Let's wait and see. We've waited this long. We might as well wait till the end of the fight. Big Mom, she was my MVP of the chapter, just based off of how impressive she looked. And I think the most prominent thing here, other than how impressive she looked, right, was the fact that she used Indra. Indra is the god of lightning while also being the king of the gods. And that's really cool because it's coming. When I say it's coming, I mean Ashura. That may be a separate video in regards to the return of Ashura, because again, we want to talk about Enma and how Enma works. But I think it's great because Ashura, I did a bit of research, is known as the anti-god or in the opposition of the gods. And I think you know what this means for Zoro. And this may have been the long game play for Oda to reintroduce Ashura while dueling Big Mom, who is in possession of interesting abilities like Indra and Shiva. So, I mean, long story short, Zoro GOAT, but it's going to be amazing once Ashura makes his return. Big Mom is looking like a true monster though. Like right now, she looks unbeatable, but she's going down. Law seems to be fed up with the Straw Hats. Him moving Zoro and his response is absolute comedy at this point. But I gotta say this, Zoro slicing Blast Breath is cool every single time. And what I really liked about that moment is Luffy looked like a proud brother just watching it. Like, Zoro, let's go, right? And I almost forgot just how much I missed seeing them in action together. Like, seeing Luffy and Zoro fight is always an absolute marvel. But in the midst of that, Zoro continues to show his ungodly strength, which is fitting. Using his attack, he completely decapitated the horn of the skull they were fighting on, and for scaling, you can either use a sword that's in the shot, or when we saw Kaido transform. Either way, it's incredible. The distance, the size of it. At this point, I'm not sure just how strong this man is right now. I just gotta be honest with you guys. The attack he used, though, is reminiscent to what he used to defeat Ryuma, as well as what Ryuma used to defeat the dragon in the one-shot monster. This is what some use to draw a parallel as to what could happen in Wano, so Oda using this attack is an excellent callback. Perhaps we should review Monster this week. There was also heavy dialogue over the weekend about Enma and whether or not it's Zoro's strength. I think we really need to look at several panels to come to a conclusion, so we'll talk about it this week. But in the meantime, give Zoro his credit, please. He managed to scare the living hell out of Big Mom, which we've never seen before, and Kaido, who has never dodged anything in his lifetime, like ever, decided to dodge this attack. Do you not want to die, Kaido? But hey, it's just crazy. Big Mom is wreaking havoc in the heavens though, and this just goes to show just how devastating she can be when she isn't reduced to comedy relief. It seems like the only person that could even do anything in the midst of Shiva's wrath was Luffy. And that leads us to this moment in which everyone in the comment section, I think, have used this joke over the weekend, so I suppose it is my turn. So here goes. Big Mom used lightning on Luffy, and then she asked why he wasn't affected. Luffy simply responded that he is rubber. That then led to individuals asking why didn't Big Mom know about rubber, which then leads to the masterful punchline of how could she with all of those kids she has running around. Yes, peak internet comedy. I mentioned Luffy dodging destructive wind early was odd in comparison to what I would expect. Oda definitely satisfied my palate with Luffy enduring Blast Breath using good old guts, which initially was jarring, I can't lie. When I reacted to it, I was like, I'm not sure about this one. Blast Breath was used to decimate a mountain, and it's been dodged until now. However, Luffy is the embodiment of guts. And, going back and looking at that panel, it is top tier. It is amazing, and it is exactly the type of person Luffy is, so I'm absolutely 100% on board with that. However, it may be time to talk about the anime possibly spoiling us yet again with this scene, because this is very reminiscent of opening 22. You see this? Can you see this? How much do the animators truly know at this point? It is getting ridiculous because something else happened over the weekend in regards to the One Piece episode. But again, that may be coming this week. I may be flooding you guys this week. I don't know. It's a lot to talk about. But the chapter ends with Luffy bombarding Kaido with his fists. And the conversation back then was that Kong Organ was just basically the gear forth of Arian to Gatling, but now we have Kong Gatling. What is the difference between the two? Well, someone did comment, I forget who, I'm sorry. They said that Kong Organ seems to be compression as opposed to Gatling, which is a straight up punch. But when you look at the panel, it seems like Luffy is compressing his arms regardless, but it's reminiscent to Katakurian when he was mimicking Luffy, where Luffy's fists seem to be targeted, which is absolutely awesome. But yeah, I found that very interesting. I think overall a fantastic chapter. I think the chapters have been getting better and better and better as we've been on the rooftop. And so far, 4 digits have had no misses. I mean, One Piece hasn't missed in a while, but I absolutely loved this. I absolutely loved everything that's happening in this chapter. So much for us to talk about. And you know what? Low key, the MVP was the fact that we did not see break at the end of this chapter. Come on, clap it up. Clap it up for no break at the end of the chapter, man. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about this chapter? How do you feel about Enma and Zoro? Which I'm going to refrain from getting into back and forths about this because I just want to enjoy One Piece at this point. I don't want to have the back and forths about whether or not Enma is a power-up or whether or not it's Zoro Enma. I'm going to make a video about it, right? But let's try not to be toxic about this. Jesus Christ, man. Let's enjoy this story. But yeah, give me your thoughts about it. Whatever about the chapter you want to leave your thoughts on, leave it below. People have been requesting comment videos. I think I may start making them like every other week or so, where I go through, previous videos and look at the best comments. So, flood me with comments, good quality comments, please. If you've made it this far and you're not subscribed, now is the time to do so. Also, now is the time to drop a like as well. Also, follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
okay. I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.